Hello, hope you are doing well. So this video is just gonna be looking at how we did the previous game week. As you can see here, we did pretty good. But I wanna go through kind of the new setup I have for my AI FPL team and how I'm gonna do it going forward. Because this weekend I had so little time that I didn't have really time to explain my new way I'm gonna use AI to pick my team going forward. But I'm gonna start with just by looking at how we did in Game Week 4. We played the wildcard, so that was a very short video just before the deadline, a couple of hours. But I had planned the wildcard and I had planned a video on Friday, but I didn't get the time. But basically we had to play the wildcard to introduce the new system. But it turned out good. Fortunately, it turned out good. So let's just go quickly through it here. So we picked like double defense from Arsenal. So we got Raya, Calafori. We got some 11 points here, so that's pretty good. And we had Virgil. He did good. I think he picked up like 2 bonus points. He's been doing really well for us, to be honest. We brought in Lacroix. He got a clean sheet, so that was good. And Paqueta, he had a big chance, but he didn't convert. Gakpo was very quiet. Semenyo again did a great job, he even took the pen. So he's looking very strong. I picked Bruno based on stats, but yeah, United look horrible, so he might go soon, we'll see. Gyökeres was new in. He got a goal, played pretty well I think. Pedro with an assist and 2 bonus points again. He's looking, he's gathering a lot of points. We dropped Salah, as many people know, as I said in the video. We brought in Haaland and we capped him. So Salah was very lucky. So that was definitely the correct choice by leaving out Salah and picking Haaland and captaining him. So I was very happy with that decision. That was very good. It could have been much better, but Salah got a lucky pen. They were quite bad, Liverpool, in that game. But Haaland could have had more. He could at least have a hat-trick. But he did well. He got 26 points, 3 bonus. So that was very good. But today I kind of want to focus a bit more on how I pick this team now and how we're going to do it going forward. So yeah, I think I'm just going to get into that, and it's going to be a bit different for what we have been doing so far. Okay, so if you have been watching my previous videos, you kind of know that the way we picked our team was by looking at a lot of sources from different YouTube people and different sources online to try to gather this high signal context to pick our team. But I just found it was a bit boring, to be honest, and I felt that we didn't really get to challenge the model, right? Because, yeah, I just found it a bit boring, so I wanted to change it up and be a bit more data-driven. The issue now is that we don't have so many data points, but we're gonna try it out anyway. So the more data we will get over the season, the better hopefully this will perform. So what I did was I started gathering different context, right? So because we need the data. So we do have a pretty good setup here on the AI agent. So we can do like get X to G from FPL, use MCP server, right? So we could get like expected goal data by just using the MCP server we have created for our AI agent. And you can see we grab the XG here for Erling Haaland, right? And you can kind of see, if we open up this, you can see Haaland here is 5.66. Yeah, it's just amazing, right? 1.59 per 90, that's just crazy stats, right? And you can see we can grab these statistics from FPL, right? So that is pretty good, and I wanted to kind of work a bit more with the data. So what I went ahead and did is I actually started working on a data set, and I wanted the AI to create a formula for us that kind of calculates expected points for each game week, so we can stipulate over a few game weeks and kind of get the average, right? So if we look at the data we are collecting now, we are of course doing fixtures. I'm gonna zoom in a bit here, and I'm gonna put this back here a bit, right? So we can close this. So we gather fixtures. So let's say game week 5 to 8, right? So we grab all the fixtures, put it in this CSV file. This is one data point because we want the fixtures. But we also want some more information about these fixtures. So we have this table we are gonna grab from, I can show you the source for this. So the source here is understat.com. Here we get this table. We have all the teams, the points, we have the expected team goals, expected goal against, and expected points. So it's not like in detail stats, but it's pretty good to look at how the defense is doing. So far you can see Newcastle has pretty good defense. Arsenal is second place, and you can see we can see who is producing most chances. Chelsea, Manchester United, that's pretty shocking, right? That's bad conversion. 4 over. They should have 4 more goals, so that's pretty crazy. But anyways, you can see this is a good data source, right, for the table, so that we have kind of the fixtures, we have the table, we can use that in the formula to kind of stipulate what teams are doing well defensively, who is doing well offensively. So it's a bit early, right, but the more time goes, the better the data will be. We have the team maps. This is just to link a team ID with a club, right? Because the full complete database is this part, right? So this is kind of what I've gathered from FPL, all the data I wanted. So I'm not going to spend, I can quickly go through some of the key points here. So you can see, we of course we have the team ID, the price, the name, position, web name, ownership percentage. So I think total minutes is pretty good. Starts, and we have start percent rate. This is like a custom thing I get. So you can see like Raya here, he has 100% start rate. But if you look at Ødegaard or Timber, they have a 75% start rate. So to get on this database here, you need at least 75% start rate, and you should have around 60 or above minutes average played, right? So we can check out min average, right? So you can see Saliba has 61. He got injured early. But if you look at like Madueke, he has 86 minutes average. So I think that's a good point, a data point. We have total points, goals, assists, clean sheets, BPS, XG, XG90, XGI90. We have pen flag. This is who is on penalties. We have defensive contributions, and we have saves for goalkeepers. We could add more data later if we want to, but this is something, I think we're just going to start with this. And this compiled a list of how many players? Almost 200 that has played so many games, right? With the stats we want. So this is what we use in our formula. We are kind of combining the fixtures, the table data, the team mapping. I have set piece takers here, but I haven't implemented that yet. I might do that later. And these stats, and from this we used AI, GPT-5, to create this formula you can see here. It's pretty advanced, to try to calculate the expected game week points, right? So I'm not gonna try to explain this formula here, but we can quickly look at some of the points here. So we are doing like a quick league table, kind of looking at the XG per match, right? From the table where we have the offensive team and the defensive team compared each game week. And we gave like a home advantage that is like a big 10% advantage. Should be probably a bit higher, but okay. We have a fixture book, right? So we can kind of do that. Estimated appearance and minutes. This is pretty important. This is what I'm talking about, like 75% average starts. And then we're going to start to turn this into expected attacking points. We have clean sheets for defenders. We have goalkeeper save points. And here is kind of the CBIT. This is like the DefCon points. This is important at least for defenders. And then we kind of come on to this per game expected points formula, right? So it's a bit complicated. I don't understand 100% how everything works. But we also have a weighted average for each game week. So game week 5 now is a bit more important than game week 8 because things can change, right? And what we end up with is this nice tier list of players when we run this now. So I ran this, and you can see if I do, let me show you. If I open up the terminal here and I do FPL Python formula, we run this. We end up with, here is the tier list, right? So we can check out defenders. So I can zoom in a bit. We close that. Right, and you can see here we have Pedro Porro, expected points over the next 4 game weeks average, 4.6. That's kind of per game, right? You can see for individual game weeks. And we can see kind of, yeah. So this is the way we did it. So you can see Timber has 7.4, right? He's got a 9 here, expected points in 1 game week. That's a bit maybe over the top, but let's see. So if we, for example, look at Haaland here, he is going to have like a 10 average because he's facing Burnley in game week 6, right? You can see here, expected points game week 6. Burnley at home, 17 points expected. That's pretty crazy. Against Arsenal, he's maybe expected to score a goal, maybe 1 goal. And you can see in the upcoming weeks, he's looking very strong. So he is, of course, the top pick just because of that crazy stats, right? We can look at midfielders. Maybe I should have sorted this by... Yeah, that was a bit stupid. We should sort this by highest to lowest. But I guess it's fine. Who do I think is highest on midfielders? Enzo Fernandez. Bruno is pretty high up, and Bamboo. That's because of the stats of United, right? But you can see Salah is pretty low. But you can see this is kind of the way I set this up. And here we have some more stats too. We have the minutes average. You can see everything is above 60. I think that's pretty smart. I also put this up on the website. If you want to have a look at it, I turn it into a website here. So now you can kind of check the picks. So goalkeepers, the tier S tier picks are Raya and Vicario. You can see, let me try to update that. Yeah, that I haven't really fixed that yet. I'm gonna do it. There are some issues here with the team names at the moment. So Sunderland, that's not right. So there are some issues, small issues I'm gonna fix. So Dubravka at Bournemouth, that's wrong, right? So I need to fix that. So I'm probably gonna do that very quick, soon. Sunderland. So don't mind that too much. It doesn't come into the calculations, but just on the UI here, it's wrong, right? If you look at midfielders, you can see Bruno and Bembo, Semenyo, and yeah. So these game weeks here should kind of reflect who they are playing, right? So we can clearly see that on, let's say, Haaland. He's got this red game week 5, right? So this means that you could avoid him for this game week, but you should have him for 6 and 8. Right, so you can see these markers. He's probably the only guy with this clear markers so far. But that could change. And of course the red game week 5 is because they are facing... if you go to game week 5 here, you can see City are away to the best defense, right? And Arsenal. So that is not a good game week for Haaland. But if you go to game week 6... That's a 17.8, and of course that is because he is home to, City home to Burnley. And if you look at the XG here, goals against, you can see Burnley 9.9. So that's probably gonna be like a triple captain week or something on Haaland if you look at purely on the stats, right? So that is what I've been working on. And for the team picking, I'm probably gonna do that on Friday. So basically what we do is pretty simple. We have this setup here. I can do notes, right? If I wanted to. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna feed all this information. We can have a strategy here. But I haven't come so far yet, but I'm gonna do that for the next video. And then we're gonna run the agent here in Claude. That is kind of looking at the tier list, and it's gonna compare that to our team and create a transfer plan and so on, right? But that's gonna be the next video. I just wanted to use this video to kind of explain the new setup, and I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. And the more data we will get going forward, we can try to adjust some things and make it hopefully better. Because it's not 100% yet, but I think we are getting somewhere with this. We can also look for other sources of data. I had like a quick look at something like, what's it called? SofaScore, isn't it? SofaScore. I think it's called. Yeah, this is Norwegian now. I think that's a bit annoying, but we could get like, yeah, let me find English here, right? We could get something like, let's say Premier League here. And do we have statistics? Yeah, we can get something like, if you go to, let's say, attack, we can look at like, I thought we had shots and stuff, so big chances missed, right? But that is kind of baked into the expected goals. I was kind of looking for like shots on target and stuff. Okay, so you can see we have shots on target. You can see Haaland has 8. You can see Mateta 6. Semenyo, he's at 5. That's pretty good. Bowen is at 5. Bamboo, Cunha is injured now. Paqueta is at 4. So there are a lot of sources we can look up and try to implement later. I think that could be pretty interesting, right? So another thing we can do, right? We can also, of course, take, let's say we have this, our points here, right? We could have to, of course, do something like read this, give analysis on the data points, right? And we can do something like look up my FPL team using MCP server, give an analysis on these data points for our forward line or something like that. For our forward line. So there's a lot of stuff we can do with this too. I think that could be pretty interesting. And just try to, so now we fetch our team because we have this set up, right? You can see we have Haaland. Okay, I thought it was gonna read that file. I guess it did that. But let's just see what we get back here now. So you can see we kind of get gameweek 5 to 8 projections. You can see Haaland, Pedro, Gyökeres. Excellent alignment, so we are doing very good here, right? So this is just something we can do. I just think this approach is going to be a bit more interesting than just doing the YouTube comparison, because there's a lot more stuff we can do. And I think we're kind of testing out the models a bit more with this setup. So I just wanted to explain a bit on that this video. And it's going to be pretty interesting next week, because if we go to kind of pick team, and I don't know who we are going to captain, right? Next week. That's going to be really interesting. I guess if a lot of you people have Salah, I guess that's kind of the best choice, even though his stats is pretty bad, right? But who else can we do? Should we do Gakpo? That doesn't feel great. Semenyo against Newcastle. If you're going to go to the table here, expected goals against, you can see Newcastle has been the best defense so far. So that doesn't feel good either. I don't think I trust Fernandes. Home to Chelsea. Gyökeres versus City. How has City been doing? They're kind of mid 5 expected goals against so far. They got a new goalkeeper. He's looking very good, Donnarumma. But he could be an option. Haaland, yeah, maybe Haaland. I'm not quite sure. They're facing a really good defense in Arsenal, right? So that's pretty tough too. And maybe Pedro, he could be an interesting choice, I guess. Other than that, at least it's gonna be really interesting to see what kind of captain we end up with this. I have an intuition that we are probably gonna pick Haaland, but that doesn't feel good. So that's gonna be interesting. But that's probably gonna be at the end of the week, hopefully on Friday. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video and kind of explain the new approach I'm going for here. Like I said, I think it's just a bit more interesting than just doing the YouTube thing, because here we can kind of, I think we can challenge the model a bit more now. When we both create a formula, we can try to maybe do some more work on the formula here to kind of make it a bit better. We can try to find some more rare data sources or something like that. Like we looked at the shots on target, try to implement something like this. And I think it's just going to be more interesting going forward than just doing the YouTube thing. So the question is, should we try to implement maybe some captain polls, or should we just go on the data? So if you have any comments on this, please let me know in the comments below, and I will kind of try to take that into consideration. And you can also go check out the app. It should be linked below if you want to kind of check out what we have. Yeah, there are some explanations here on kind of the tiers and stuff, but and we have the methodology down here, expected points. So I'm going to try to keep this up to date, but I have to fix like the the teams first, right? So yeah, like I said, just wanted to do a quick explanation. We're not going to do anything with the team because I have some more stuff I need to do first, but that's probably going to be on Friday, and maybe I do a live stream if I have the time to do that. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Hope you did well this weekend, and yeah, it's going to be interesting if like we don't have Salah this weekend, so that's going to be pretty cool. Overall, we are like at 1.2 million. That's not too good, but like we haven't played any chips yet except the wild card. So we could do some catch up there. Maybe we have to play the bench boost soon, maybe this week, we'll see. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Have a great week, and I hope to see you again on Friday.